I had to cop the royal milk tea. Different brand, but I'm hoping it's still the classic milk tea that I always used to drink. And it is officially Friday over here. This is gonna be our last weekend here in Okinawa and Japan in general. So, trying to make the most of it. And per usual, it's blistering hot out in the day. It's like lunchtime. It's like lunchtime right now, like right around 12, right? Yeah, it's a breeze. It's really nice day.
Yeah.
So there's a furniture store that we passed by a while back that Mary wants to check out. We're trying to.
We should be able to see it, right? Like across the way.
Found it. So we spotted this while we were driving around before, and I know she's looking for like some home decor stuff, especially like from here, from Japan. So let's see what they have. No outside food or drinks allowed, so I'm gonna finish this before we head in. This is Sunset Beach.
Like it's called Sunset Beach?
Yeah. Now it seems like they have like more touristy stuff like paragliding and parasailing and stuff like that available too. Before it was just like a beach for you just to kind of like go swim in the area like this. Alright, after the beach, taking a break and posted up at this Korean restaurant to have a lunch that is burning outside. I already have like sunburn on my face.
Supervise when he orders, or when he brings my cold noodles.
Alrighty, getting back and ready again. Gonna be heading out in like 30 minutes, less than. I'm gonna leave the camera here just because gonna try to enjoy dinner, catching up with my teacher and kind of one of my mentors going through high school. So it'll be nice to catch up with him and get some dinner. We're gonna actually be going to a bar, like a pub. So yeah, off we go. I talked about it, I think, in the other portion of the vlog, might have been a couple of days ago, but a little bit about like how for me growing up in high school, this teacher for me was like somebody who, when I wanted to like zig when everyone was zagging in the sense of like going to college and doing all these things, rather than like the typical response, which might be to kind of like steer you back on that like standard path, it was more like how could he support and enable me to like succeed in this like different entrepreneurial like journey I was taking. And like he did everything from like connecting me with certain people to helping me get to speak at a STEM, like a science technology research like facility here in Japan. He like organized that whole like program for me, to just putting me in touch with like other people in his network too, and like kind of helping me navigate, even if it was just like a sounding board. Like I think a part of it was like my decision in high school was so made up by my junior year of like, I'm not going to college, I'm going to pursue this like business thing. But even just to have a sounding board to kind of help you know, vent the trials and tribulations going through all of that. So it will be good to kind of catch up all these years later. So if you can't tell, it is packing day starting tonight, and all the stuff we still have to pack tomorrow. Alright, so I didn't get to film much in terms of like talking head today, but today is the second to last day before we leave. Tomorrow's Sunday, we fly out Monday. And honestly, today just spent a lot of the day doing some last minute shopping, getting some last minute errands done, and spending time with my parents. Took them out to dinner today, so you'll see that whole clip and footage earlier. Took them out to a nice yakiniku restaurant out here in Okinawa that we went to last time we were here for my partner's birthday. So we had the opportunity to have that again, treat them out, and just, kind of spend time with them, given that they've been taking us around the whole time we've been here. Good thing is I'll be seeing them not too long from now, like in Chicago in a month and a half or so. So it'll be nice to, see them stateside as well. Don't get to come out here as often, like I said. Used to be a biannual thing, and now it's hopefully sometimes annual. So, taking the time to kind of spend time with them out here, especially knowing the fact that they'll be leaving here probably in the next year or so. So, yeah, honestly, today was just running around, a lot of shopping, a lot of visits. Other than that, just going to be slowly starting to pack tonight. We still have all of tomorrow, where we're going to finish up, some last minute things. See some friends before I leave, and other than that, just kind of get all ready for the trip back stateside. So that was the day, but it's late at night now. It's like 10 p.m. Like I said, just gonna kind of wind down, start initially packing, and then finish up all the logistics tomorrow. So it is officially, and unfortunately, the last full day we have here in Japan. It's gonna be the last morning we walk to head to Family Mart. We're gonna go meet up with a friend, one of my best friends who's actually visiting and happened to overlap on this trip, which was really nice. Got to see him earlier on this trip, but we have plans with my parents tonight since it's our last full day here for dinner, so I wanted to catch up with him in the morning, grab an early breakfast / lunch, and just kind of catch up. He is based in California, which is nice. Just don't get to see him as often, so I want to catch up while we're here back home. Did they tell you that? Oh, last day, we found ourselves in a mall somehow yet again.
Told ya. One more day of shopping.
I know. One last stop, but this time it's a brand new hard off that I've not been to before. We'll see how stocked this one is. Junk section. See if we have any better luck. It's a Sega Saturn for basically 15 bucks. Two of them. Oh, right here? Yeah, maybe right here's a good one.
If you wanna go down there, it's like 30 minutes.
You want to take a picture real quick, Dad?
You don't have plenty of time. Where?
Right here, right
guys?
here. Here.
Whichever.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of
Right here, right here. No, you two. You and Mom.
Okay, let's try them out. The sauce is different though.
Take a picture.
I hope it's soft and tender, yeah.
It should be. Oh, hibiscus salt.
That's perfect for you.
Oh, but I already bought all those ones, but this one has chili, green onion, and shikosa. Forget.
Jeez. And with that, we are finally mostly packed. Some trash to clean up, some stuff I gotta leave behind with my parents. We even had to get an extra suitcase that we're gonna be bringing along to check in, but I think we are nearly there and prepped for tomorrow morning.
Now that's checking to see if there's anyone there.
And then for the last night, hitting up the lobby. If this isn't Japan's honor system at its finest, please put the fee here and they tell you how much the things cost. I will try. Oh, there's shikwasa flavor.
I want to try the passion fruit though.
Get rid of all my coins. Just get some drink. Wait, that's not a 50, it's a 5.
Oh.
The other side, they even have a snack section where you can just pick up a snack and they have the prices listed out too. So we picked up these Orion Watas, which are new. I haven't seen these before, but these are like Orion's like the beer that's made out here in Okinawa and famous. And they have these like what I imagine are like seltzers by Orion. But yeah, we've been meaning to try these, and last night, pretty fitting. Cheers to the end of the trip.
Pretty decent.
Yeah. Mine's better.
Yeah. Which is annoying because in my soul I wanted that, but initially when I saw these I wanted to try the passion fruit.
Alright, so here's the plan. It is the night 11:38 to be exact, before we fly out to Tokyo technically and then back home. But this is the end of the trip. This is the end of the near 2+ week trip to Japan. We did a week in Tokyo. We did a week here in Okinawa, Japan, where I was born and raised. And it's coming to a bittersweet end, but time to go back. Time to get back into the swing of things, get into work and whatnot. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of wrap up this trip with a Q&A. So my partner Mary and I have decided to come up with 5 questions each to ask each other regarding the trip. And with that, I think it'd be a good way to kind of do a recap of our 2-week trip here in Japan. Do you want to start, or you want me to start?
Yeah.
You want to ask me?
I'll start and then we can just alternate.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my question is, we ate a lot on this trip and I want to know what your favorite meal was.
That's literally mine.
That's why I wanted to go first.
Oh. It's funny because this is my first question, but I didn't even think about what I was gonna answer. We had so much. I'm trying to think of like, dang, a part of me might still say like, as simple as it might be Kogo's, because it's like the first meal and it's like a classic one. But then on like the sleeper pick, the first night here at the place that my parents took me, Kami Sushi, which is like a place I used to go to as a kid, but that was all really like just high quality food.
So mine was also the yakiniku place, because I obviously knew that I would love it because we had already been there, but I didn't think that it would still hit so hard because I already had gone there. But it was still so good.
Yeah, it was all quality all around.
And then my second favorite place was the Sea Bream lunch set that we got in Tokyo. Remember the place in Ginza with the sea bream, and then there was like the egg yolks and the ikara. That was fucking good.
Okay, so that was my first question too, so I guess we'll move on to my next one. My second question was, given this is your second time in Japan, her first time was last January when we came, what is something, and you guys spend way more time now this time around, both in mainland and here in Okinawa, what is something you didn't expect of Japan, or something you realized about Japan as a whole while you were here on this trip? or was maybe more solidified?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this trip, nothing surprised me or shocked me, but it really like reinforced the fact that like Japan is so solid in its customs and it's so polite. There's always a thank you. There's always some type of like interaction. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the customer service is on point. Mm-hmm. But like I said, that doesn't shock me or anything. Okay. Everything's so clean. The food is so good. Like, I just come here and I never have to second guess anything. Mm-hmm. Like, if I just see something, oh, okay. Except for that raindrop cake I got. That was not good. Okay. But for the most part, if I see something, it's like usually exactly what I expect it to be. Okay. You know? The last time we visited, it was like the dead of winter was January. And now we visited in like what feels like peak summer because the sun was sunning. So I wanted to ask, which did you like better?
I mean, I'm personally always in favor of winter, just like colder. But even when we came last time in January, surprisingly, it was not like cold. Tokyo was cold.
Yeah, Tokyo was cold.
Tokyo was cold. Okinawa was not. I always prefer winter. Like, I'll always prefer winter in any capacity. But I think it was nice to get to experience a summer here in Japan again because my memories of growing up in Japan are around summer because like you're on summer vacation, you're on like school break and stuff, and that's when you hang out with friends. But yeah, it's rough. It's like super hot, super tough, super humid, especially here in like Okinawa. It's a combination of like the humidity plus just like scorching heat constantly, but still winter for me. Easy one. Favorite purchase of the trip?
That was my next one.
Okay, so what's trade here?
Okay. So obviously my favorite purchase was my little Chanel backpack because that has been on my luxury wish list for years now and I just have never seen it anywhere. And I just refuse now to buy Chanel full price. And it was just such a good find. You know, we were out in these secondhand like luxury consignment stores all day and like she was just calling to me.
I think mine's probably similar to the watch, Seiko watch, because last trip we saw that on the way out and that's what I wanted. And then this time around, like, you can get it online, you can easily get it, but like the part of getting it and wanting it was getting it here in Japan.
So my question is, we did have a lot of time here. We had like a little over 2 weeks in Japan in total. But is there something that you wish we had time to do or something that you want to make sure that we have on the itinerary next visit?
Like here in Japan or Okinawa specific, like, or Japan in general? I think like I told you, next time, since this time around we did like mainland, like Tokyo proper, I would want to venture out of Tokyo next time around, even if it's like Osaka and like potentially like Kyoto and like further up north, because I never really, outside of being a kid, like I never got to explore that when I was younger. So like I'd want to do more like countryside and like different places like that. I've been to Osaka a couple times. It'll be good to like again experience it like more as an adult.
Is there anything in Tokyo that you wish we could have done? Like anything that we missed? Because you basically hit everything on my list because I'm a lucky girl. But is there anything that you wanted to do or you wish we could have done that maybe you'd want to try to do next time?
In the city, like outside of going to the country more, like to like the stores and stuff that I want to go to, like the hard offs and stuff. In the city, maybe going to like we went out a lot here, and which was fun with like friends, but like in mainland Japan, I haven't really done like the clubs and stuff in a while, so that would have been like cool to experience at least one night. But it's not like a must have to do, so nothing crazy now. Favorite event on this trip, so like something we did versus like something you got, like an experience.
Yeah. I mean, top of mind, the otter cafe, because I've loved otters. Otters are my favorite animal. So being able to see them and interact with them in real life and seeing their cute little hands. Yeah. But then I actually loved going to Okinawa World with your parents. I thought that was just like cool. Even though we didn't get to see like the snakes in the cave and stuff. But that was just like a cool, like, I just would never do that anywhere else, you know? Oh yeah, my last one. So, what is one pro tip you'd like to give to the people who could potentially visit Japan?
Pro tip. One.
Personally, my pro tip is to go with someone who speaks a little bit of Japanese.
I think, that maybe would be mine. Is not obviously that go with somebody. And obviously, you don't need to I think here a little goes a long way in terms of customs and culture. And I guess it depends on where you're going, because there's certain areas like mainland where they're more accustomed to foreigners and non-English speakers, non-Japanese speakers. I think learning the basic phrases and stuff like that, they appreciate that. Obviously nowadays you have all the translation apps and stuff like that make it super easy. Accepting the culture is going to be different, and a lot of different practices, and just being aware of that going in. And being more accepting of that, everything from the food to the behavior and yada yada yada. I think it's also the other thing is it's so easy to plan a ton of things, do a ton of things, but I think not just here in Japan, it's the beauty of traveling in general. I think there's an element of just doing things, and I think Japan is one of those places where you can literally walk into 9 times out of 10 you can walk into random places and it'll be a high quality experience, whether it's food or whatever. And I think doing a lot more of that versus just the stereotypical hitting all the common places, I think will enhance the overall experience.
Yeah.
My last question is, given that we traveled for 2+ weeks together now, what is something you learned about me on this trip? Especially because you interacted with a lot of people that I knew growing up, but you were a third party looking in.
I mean, we live together, so in terms of living habits and just being around you for 2 weeks constantly, that hasn't really changed anything. But we did have dinner with his teacher, and I learned that he was a woefully poor student. So much so that he showed up to a music class final with nothing prepared. Didn't even know how to play the instrument, and somehow got a B+. So I had never heard that story before in our 5+ years of dating, and I was just wow, could never be me. But that was some insight into your youth for sure.
Need to rest up, early start tomorrow, long day of travels. But with that, we will catch you in next vlog, recap vlog, however this ends. We'll see.
Yeah. See you in SF probably.
Yeah. All right, back where the series started. Apologies if I look a bit disheveled. It's been a day. Traveled technically yesterday morning from Okinawa, Japan to Tokyo, which is about a 2.5-hour flight. And the reason being is there's no direct flights from where my parents are in Okinawa all the way back here to the States. So I always have to fly through Tokyo, which is why when I go there, I always take time to spend in mainland first before going home. And then from Tokyo, I had to wait in the airport for a couple hours, and then flew out of Narita on a 9-hour flight, which was surprisingly very fast for a return flight. I don't know why I felt the flights are way longer. It's been a year since I flew out, but maybe it's because I either typically do layovers, or I'm usually going Tokyo and then directly to Okinawa right after versus the time between. Anyhow, needless to say, it's been a long day. I was exhausted when I got back home because I didn't sleep much on the flight. So decompressed, showered, and then just pretty much knocked out for the last couple hours. It's 9 p.m. right now on a Monday, and I'm trying to readjust and beat the jet lag as I get back into the swing of things this week. But I wanted to take this moment to recap on the trip and kind of close out this 2024 Japan vlog series. If you're somehow watching this out of order, I spent the last 2+ weeks in Japan. 1 week in Tokyo with my partner to kind of go around mainland and show her more so around the Tokyo area, because she's been to Japan once, and in that one time she went with me last year, we only got to spend 2 days in Tokyo, so we did all the typical stuff. Great fill. I think next time we visit, we'll definitely want to expand to show her Osaka and different parts of Japan to really kind of get outside of the Tokyo area.
But that was great. And then we spent a week in Okinawa, Japan, which is where I was born and raised and where my family's at. And I wanted to do this trip for a couple reasons, despite it being the peak of summer. I wanted to, take time off and decompress and recharge. Always nice going home. Don't need an excuse to go to Japan. But also because my dad was retiring. And he's going to be retiring from his government service job. He did 27 years in the Navy. He did 20 plus years for his government service job. And he's going to be retiring to take, the next step into just being retired and living that life out. And I didn't really know when's the next time, like if I go back home, if my parents would be there. So I wanted to use this opportunity to go see them while they're out there. And got to see friends as well, which is always great. A lot of my childhood friends, it just so happened to overlap on this trip that a couple of my other friends had either gotten stationed there because they're in the military or also visiting. So it was like the stars really just aligned on this trip. And the best thing I can say about my last 2 weeks, I love Japan as a whole. It is home to me, like I've been saying throughout this whole series. I grew up there, I was born there, I was raised there because of that military lifestyle, and it's something I'm very fortunate to this day, like that experience and exposure. But I love the people, I love the culture, I love the food, everything that makes it up and makes it home. And in the past, ever since I left in 2016, I've always left and had this question in the back of my head of like, did I make the wrong choice in leaving this all behind, right? Because like it's always great when you're there and you question, why did I leave this all in the first place? When I left in 2016 to kind of start anew here in the States and hopefully have bigger opportunities to grow in my business and my career and my life, there was a couple of years where like I didn't know if that was the right choice. And I would always leave those trips and those vacations to Japan and go like, man, like, how could you leave this all behind? It's the place I feel most at ease. It's the place I feel most at peace. And this trip in particular is the first time in a long time that I got to take like a proper time off and like disconnect and go offline, because it's not something, if you know me, that I'm good at doing at all. So it was really great opportunity for me to relax, recharge, and allow me to remind myself that it is a marathon, not a sprint. And I think it's what's going to allow me to be back and come back here and really crush the end of year with a different perspective. But I think the biggest thing I'm walking away from in this trip is that, like I said, in leaving with those past sentiments, this time around and coming back, even today, I don't have that. I'm confident in the decision I made, and I'm excited while I left home to be coming back to my new home where I've set roots, and knowing I've made the right decisions and knowing all those choices led me to where I'm at today and afforded me the lifestyle and the privilege that I have here in my setup here in the Bay Area. And I'm not questioning the decision I made to leave as much as I love home and as much as I love Japan, because I wouldn't be where I'm at and I wouldn't have the opportunities. I wouldn't have grown in the sense to where I'm at today. But I think the important thing is to, while looking ahead and while looking at all the things I want to accomplish, to recognize and acknowledge everything that was and has made me who I am. And this trip and going back home always allows me to do that. So to all the friends, all the family, everyone and my partner who I traveled with for the last 2 weeks and had to deal with me, everyone who made this trip what it was, an immense and heartfelt thank you. I am excited to be back. I am looking forward to being back, and I'm looking forward to the journeys ahead. And I hope you enjoyed all of this in these slices and clips that encompass this vlog series for Japan 2024. Until next time.